This team is going to the playoffs. Okay? This team's going to the playoffs.
When you're in New York City and everybody's telling you why you can't do something all the time, I needed to change that.
I think he lost his mind. I think he went and had temporary insanity.
I knew my team. I knew their character, and I knew they would respond.
It's just funny, name is Messier Fossil.
I thought about it, and I said, this is time. I got to make a stand. I'm going to make a stand, and I think the team will stand up for that.
This is a poker game. I'm shoving my chips to the middle of the table.
We know what type of coach he is and what type of attitude he brings. We just want to back him up, and right now we're playing as hard as we can for him, and we're playing as hard as we can for each other.
Hey, baby.
Gotta keep bringing it. Can't touch it.
We were quoting the team that couldn't beat a good team. We went out and we did that.
And I want that.
This is what you play for. This is why you lift the weights in the off season. This is why you do all the running. This is why you let the coach curse you out and you don't say anything back, because you want the payoff.
We got a prize ahead of us that we're trying to get to, and we're not going to let anybody stand in our way.
I'm having a ball. I don't worry about anything. I don't have a worry in my life.
This team is going to the playoffs.
Dallas, Texas on the final Sunday night of the season, and the NFC East title is primed for the taking.
Well, I won't back down. No,
With a win tonight, the Giants can make good on Jim Fossil's promise and clinch the NFC East. It would also mean home field advantage throughout the playoffs is theirs if they can win out. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. Ever since Jim Fossil's guarantee, the Giants have been on a roll. They've won 3 straight. He took the heat. His players responded, and now Fossil is on the verge of winning his second NFC East title. For the Cowboys, the season has been a disaster, topped off by another concussion for Troy Aikman, which leaves his future very much in doubt. Paul and Joe, you might think the Cowboys would be at a huge disadvantage tonight, but think about all the upsets today, and the Giants had better be ready.
But, Mike, this is a game of matchups, and from where I'm sitting, the Giants could win them all. The Giants love to run the football with Dane and Barber. They're going up against the Dallas Cowboys, the worst rushing defense in the National Football League. Joe, maybe the worst rushing defense in recent history.
Well, to compound that problem, if they do stop the run, they're going up against a Giant offense now that has found some balance. As a matter of fact, Kerry Collins has given them something they haven't had in New York since Phil Simms, a threat at the quarterback position. Take last week, for example, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't feel like they could run the football. So what they did is they put it on Kerry's shoulders. He went out and responded with 330 yards plus passing. Now, Paul, I think they have to be concerned with more than just the run.
There's another thing that favor the Giants, and that's defense. They're number 2 in rush defense in the National Football League. As a matter of fact, there's only been one runner this year that's gained over 90 yards against the Giants, and that's Eddie George. No Troy Aikman. Anthony Wright, his first start. This fits perfectly for the Giants.
Yeah, you'd think so, and so did the Redskins a week ago when they felt like Troy went out of the game. If we stop Emmett, we can win the football game. That didn't happen. Emmitt Smith showed why he's one of the greatest backs in the history of football. Took 10 guys on his shoulders, said, follow me, rushed for 150 yards, won the football game, I believe, single-handedly. And, Mike, if the Cowboys are going to win tonight, Emmitt's going to have that kind of performance.
Thanks, guys. Anthony Wright moments away from the first start of his pro career as the Giants face the Cowboys. Speak out. Enhanced TV, the online complement to tonight's broadcast. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com now and click the Enhanced TV logo. Before the kickoff, let's go to Solomon Wilcots. He's with Giants head coach Jim Fossil.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, you said you didn't want any help from anyone else in order for your team to get into the playoffs. Earlier, you didn't get any, with upsets being the theme of the day. What did you tell your team in order to avoid an upset tonight?
Well, the thing we came down here, we're not paying attention to what everybody else is doing. We knew what we had to do tonight.
to win our division. That's win the ball game. Well, in week 7, you intercepted Troy Aikman 5 times. Tonight, you're going to face an unknown quarterback in Anthony Wright. Does the unknown concern you at all? Well, it does, Solomon, because you haven't seen him play a lot, but the game I saw him to play last week, this young man has a lot of composure, throws the ball very nicely, good athlete. He's going to be an outstanding quarterback, just hopefully not tonight. All right, Coach, well, thanks for joining us. Well, all year the Giants have been the better football team, but here at Texas Stadium, well, they've been reduced to mere midgets, winning only 1 of their last 9 games. But tonight, a division title is on the line.
If anybody wants to be the spoiler, it's the Cowboys.
Got to keep bringing it. Can't touch it.
We need to win these 2 games to move on to get what we want to get, which is home field and a bye. And that's what we strive for.
It's all in good fun. It's the Cowboys and the Giants, and there's no better rivalry than that.
Hi, I'm Chris Carter.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
As hard as it might be to believe, with 1 game to go in the regular season, not a single team has clinched a division title as yet. The Giants can do it tonight. That's amazing. There is Micah Noor. He will kick it off for the Dallas Cowboys. Damon Washington and Ron Dixon are deep to receive. Dixon, who missed last week's game, he overslept and missed a mandatory meeting on Saturday. Suspended, now back in the good graces.
Very well rested, I'm sure.
Yes.
And lighter in his pocket.
And probably owns about 6 alarm clocks. We are underway in Dallas. Ron Dixon runs into his own man, then drilled at the 21. Here's the Giants offense.
Hi, I'm Lomas Brown. Joining me tonight on offense, quarterback Kerry Collins, running backs Tiki Barber and Greg the Cloud Camilla. At wide receiver, you have Amani Toomer, and from the University of Florida, Ike Hillier, and the tight end is Howard Old Man Cross.
Thank you, Lomas. Back to the rest of the lineup in a minute. There is Collins as they start from the 22. Superlative game for Kerry Collins a week ago against the Steelers. Tiki Barber squirms forward to the 25. Back to Lomas for the rest of the offense.
Joining me at tackle, you have luscious Luke Pettigrew. At guards, you have Jason Whittle and Ron Stoney Stone. And the center is Dusty the Dustinator Ziegler. Back to you guys.
The Dustinator?
I swear they spend all week working on these things. And they're good, too.
2nd and 7 from the Giants from their own 25. Collins short set. Barber. Check it. Toomer makes the catch across the 40. Gain of 18.
Amani Toomer working on Felipe Sparks. It's an opportunity. These guys spend a lot of time working against one another. Sparks being a former Giant. The one thing that I've noticed is Kerry Collins gets the ball out quickly, but Amani Toomer in the last 3 or 4 weeks has made those kind of catches game in and game out.
Last week, Toomer had season highs, 9 catches and 136 yards. Ron Dane in a tailback, and he'll get the carry. Here's the Dallas defense.
Hi, I'm Ryan McNeil, cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. And at defensive end, we have Alonzo Spellman and Greg Ellis. Defense tackles, Michael Myers and Brandon Noble. And at linebacker, we have Darren Hembrick, Dat Wynn, and Dexter Coakley. Joining me at cornerback is Felipe Sparks, and the safeties are Greg Myers and Alzel Reese.
Ryan, thank you. And there is Spellman. This defensive line banged up so badly. Leon Lett, Chad Hennings have been out on IR. Shuffling a lot of people in there trying to find the right combination. Barber on the toss. Nowhere to go. Coakley was out there to hold it up.
You know, Lomas Brown did the lineups for the Giants. You know, at the age of 37, he's the oldest offensive lineman in Giant history.
And that time, trying to run to his side, it's going to be very difficult to try and get outside of Dexter Coakley. He's their fastest linebacker, and if there's one thing you say about these linebackers that Lomas and the offensive line will have to block, is that they all run very well. I think the Giants will be better off trying to go at them instead of around them.
Certainly the offensive line has been a strength for the Giants all year. They're missing their starting left guard, Glenn Parker, had arthroscopic surgery on his knee. Could be out next week as well, but should be back after that. Cross with a catch across the middle into Dallas territory, and it will be a first down at the Cowboy 46.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is a great throw by Kerry Collins. You talk about getting rid of the ball in a hurry. He reads Cross right. Watch this. Watch out fast. Bang, he looks to the outside. Here's Cross. Now back to him, and it's a first down. That's quick and accurate.
From the ump cam, you can see pretty much what Kerry saw. Quick look by Howard over the middle.
Cross, the last remaining link to Super Bowl 25 for the Giants. Out of the eye, play action fake. Camelo in the flat. Sparks held him up, and he gets down to the 40-yard line. Giants with an impressive opening drive.
One of the things that this offense tries to achieve, and Jim Fossil talked about in this game in particular, is to achieve balance. They want to play their game. You see the way they've done it in 2000. 225 yards game, 14th. Dead last a year ago, only 170 yards. And the key is the quickness with which Kerry Collins makes a decision to get rid of the football.
Collins with career highs in yards and touchdowns this year. Into the flat this time, Toomer.
But you know, the other thing, too, is when we're talking to Fossil, you say, well, you know, you look at the Dallas Cowboys, the worst rushing defense in the National Football League. Obviously, Coach, you're going to run. Not so. He said, we are going to do our balanced attack. This is exactly what we want to do.
Well, I think sometimes you're better off throwing first to loosen the defense up a little bit so that you can run the football. You just don't have to come out and say, boom, we're going to go at you.
Kerry Collins would agree with you right now, Joe. He's 4 for 4, 41 yards. Dane behind Camelo. Collins to throw again. Deep this time, Hilliard wide open. He missed it.
Oh, man. Felipe Sparks, he just left him, and he was so open. And when Collins saw it, he just threw the ball too quick. He had plenty of time to throw the ball because the offensive line gave it to him. Watch this. Here's Hilliard down the sideline. Look at Felipe Sparks, number 20. He's not within 10 yards of him, and the ball's thrown out of bounds.
Boy, did he bite on the double move.
Oh.
Dave Campo, it has not been what he had hoped the first year, 5 and 9. The longtime assistant, elevated to the head coach this year. Barber on the delay. Keep Barber inside the 30-yard line. Of course, Campo's team has been struck by a series of injuries that have really crippled their chances to be that competitive.
Tiki Barber has handled the ball so much for this football team. The big thing that you have to be concerned with is when you get into a third down situation, and Dave Campo's defense, and Dave made a very big point of this, I'm very concerned about him as a pass receiver. That's where we have to be really careful. He gets out against a linebacker, they have an advantage.
3rd and 7. On the toss, no way. Ron Dixon was in the backfield, and he got the toss. His sub-4.5 speed couldn't help him get to the corner, and Coakley took him out of bounds.
Well, they move Tiki out to the wing, and they bring Dixon into the backfield, and they try and run a quick toss. Again, I don't think that's the way to attack this defense. There you see movement on the inside again. Dexter Coakley manages to run down anything that goes outside the ends.
Brad Daloiso will come on to try a field goal. He's made 12 straight. This will be from 45 yards out. Out of the hole of punter Brad Maynard. Partially blocked. And the Giants come up empty. Brandon Noble may have been the guy who got a hand on it. The Dallas defense holds. We'll be back in a moment.
1-800-COLLECT.
Brandon Noble with the first real big defensive play of the ball game, the blocked field goal, Joe.
He gets a real opportunity. That's Dat Win, number 59 from behind. Give him a little bit of shove, both up in the middle, and Noble just gets that big arm up inside of Pettigrew. That is called pushing from behind so that you have an opportunity to block a kick. Just for those people that aren't sure what it was.
Well, they're sure.
Good effort by that D.
Anthony Wright leads out the offense. Emmett. Nice block, nice cut. Emmitt Smith to midfield. 15 yards on his first opportunity for one of the greats of all time.
Boy, Robert Thomas, number 44, is the fullback that's out in front. Just take a look at he gets an outstanding block. And then you got your blockers up in front. Larry Allen gets out. 15-yard pickup. Here it is. Look at here. Boom to the outside. And it just followed Larry Allen. That's what you call a pancake.
Larry Allen named to his 6th consecutive Pro Bowl this week. And he is a monster when he gets going downfield. Emmett again into Giant territory. Brought down by Cedric Jones. Here's the Cowboys offense.
Hi, I'm James McKnight. Starting quarterback tonight in this first NFL start is Anthony Can't Get Right. The running backs, Emmitt Smith and Robert Red Rock Thomas. Joining me at wide receiver, we have Jason Twinkle Toes Tucker. Tight end, David LaFleur. Up front, we have Flozell Adams, Eric Williams, Larry Allen, and Solomon Page. At center, Ben Fricky.
James, you better be careful for laying that nickname on your quarterback. You might not get too many balls thrown your way. Right with play action. Out of the backfield, the fullback, Robert Thomas. Here's the Giants defense.
I am Jason Seaman, cornerback for the New York Giants. With me this evening on defense, ends Michael Strahan and Cedric Jones. Tackles, Christian Peter and Keith Hamilton. Linebackers, Michael Barrow, Jesse Armstead, and Ryan Phillips. The other corner, Dave Thomas. Safeties, Sean Williams and Sam Garnes.
Little new do. Got new hairdo.
Jason, thank you very much. Troy Aikman sitting this week out. He will probably sit out next week. The most meager numbers he's had since he became a starter. Victim of another concussion. Blitz coming. Wright still with good protection. Throws complete. McKnight. Inside the 20 to the 17. Anthony Wright with a strike for 30 yards.
Oh, Michael, did they pick up this blitz? And they brought a safety from nowhere. And watch the time that Anthony Wright has. Look at this line of scrimmage. Just watch. Everybody is on the line of scrimmage. Here comes a blitz by Sean Williams, and he never even gets close.
McKnight working on Jason Sehorn. Gets him to turn his hips and then just breaks out. That's a nice job of now getting up the field. Don't let one man bring you down. Also, you saw Anthony Wright operating from the shotgun. Now, that is not something that Troy Aikman likes, but it's something that Anthony Wright really likes.
Emmett tries to cut it back and held up by Mike Barrow, the middle linebacker.
I think down here in the red area, one of the things you can look for out of Anthony Wright, because of his mobility, he reminds me a lot in his mannerisms of Randall Cunningham. Look for him to move around a little bit, maybe a bootleg, some play action to get him on the edge of this Giant defense.
Because that was his idol when he was a kid?
That was somebody he looked up to.
Yeah, I think so.
It's uncanny how his mannerisms mirror Randall's too.
I think he's far more developed as a younger player than Randall Cunningham was. Right, short set in the flat, complete to McGarity, and he is inside the New York 10. Dave Thomas took him out of bounds. This kid doesn't look frightened at all.
Well,
you know, they talk about they wanted to throw at Dave Thomas, and here they are right now. To Dave Thomas' side. Wayne McGarity just hooks up, and I mean, they got about a half a yard to go. That's a perfect pass. There's nothing frightening about this kid. I mean, he is not frightened at all. He is so calm. He was so calm in the meeting yesterday.
A good-looking young quarterback out of South Carolina. Emmett to the goal line. Just short. Inches away from his 145th rushing touchdown.
If there's one thing that has remained consistent for Dave Campo this year, it has been his offensive line. These guys just find a body to get on, and then you let Emmett run on up inside, and Sam Garnes, even with a shot at him on the right shoulder, is not going to stop this great back.
Emmitt Smith in his 11th year, third all-time on the rushing truck. Second and goal. Emmitt cuts it outside. Touchdown.
The one thing about Emmitt Smith is that he does not have great speed, folks, and he never did have great speed. But what he does have is tremendous balance. Watch this. That was Jesse Armstead diving over. He just went up in the hole, saw that there was nothing there, and just got himself back down. Look at his feet just moving, get him back to the outside, to the open area, and the touchdown. That's greatness.
Tim Cedar for the point after. Nothing Cowboys. Will the upset barrage continue? The Giants hope it won't. They want to clinch the NFC East.
It's okay.
ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Charles Schwab, creating a world of smarter investors. By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. By 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. And by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL, an official airline of the Super Bowl. Big D on a cool December night. And the Cowboys with a 7-0 lead over the Giants. Mike Orr back to kickoff for the second time tonight. Washington and Dixon are deep. Dixon from the 10 this time. Spins out of the tackle. And Orr, the kickoff man, makes the stop across the 40. Nice return by Dixon, which will set up the Giants with excellent field position when we come back. Mike Zimmer, who was elevated to defensive coordinator when Dave Campbell became the head coach. Yards per game this year is defense dead last in the NFL. Yards per rush dead last in the NFL. The players insist it is hardly Mike Zimmer's fault. And they were really happy last week when the defense played very well to beat the Redskins, because he has been under a lot of heat this year. Ron Dane, not much. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, had even said that Zim will be back next year, but his responsibilities may be different. He wants Dave Campo, who was strictly the head coach this year, to go back to more of a dual role next season and be more involved in the defense.
Well, it was also something that Dave Campo had to figure out. This is his first year as a head coach, and he said he has to learn and had to learn what his responsibilities and what his time allocation could be.
2nd and 9 for the Giants. Barber back in. Nice hole up the middle. Good cut by Tiki Barber, but then he's wrapped up at the 45. Nice tackle by Felipe Sparks, the former Giant.
You know, the one thing about this, you're watching the Dallas Cowboys defense, how they go really fast from right to left. Now, see them, you look like they're over pursuing. Tiki Barber, when he makes this one cut, now go back up the field. Now, Hambrick, number 54, was there. Felipe Sparks, number 20, and Alonzo Spellman make the play. But Tiki Barber ran about 12 yards and picked up 3.
Ron Dixon comes in as the third wide. Join Hilliard and Toomer. Blitz coming. Collins under pressure, throws high. And Coakley was right there anyway. He just smeared Tiki Barber.
Well, not only does he have nowhere to throw the ball, Joe, but he doesn't have any time to do that.
No, when the pocket collapses around you, you really do the best job of just getting it out, which he did. Watch the pressure come to the left side. Alonzo Spellman just pushes the center right back into his face, Dusty Ziegler. I mean, Ziegler is right back in Collins' face. If you want to mess up a quarterback that throws out of the pocket, push it back in his face.
Maynard to kick to McGarity, who is 7th in the league in punt return, averaging better than 12 yards. Oops. Very short kick that takes a bounce for the Cowboys, down by the Giants near the 30-yard line. Only a 24-yard punt. 7-0 Cowboys. They'll have it again when we come back. Since 1978, 24 different quarterbacks have made their debut against teams that were more than 5 games or better above 500. Their record only 4-20.
But the Giants are 10-4 coming into this one.
Emmitt Smith dancing around, no place to go. Anthony Wright was 3 for 3 on the opening series to 3 different receivers. This young man was enjoying a very good career at South Carolina before he tore up his knee as a junior. They changed offenses, and he suffered through a 1-10 senior year. Was not drafted, but they thought highly of him at Pittsburgh when Tom Donahoe was the personnel man there. They signed him, worked his way up to number 2 on the depth chart a season ago, and Jack Riley thinks he's got a real diamond in the rough here. He's finally released by Pittsburgh at the end of this season after the front office changes. Right to Jackie Harris. Harris breaks a tackle to the 45.
Well, he breaks a tackle to Jesse Armstead, and that's something you don't see that often.
What we've seen by 2 receivers tonight is we've seen them break tackles. What the Cowboys are getting is they're getting a lot more yards out of the design of the pass. This is only about an 8-yard pass. Now Armstead tries to wrap up. Harris can't. And Jackie Harris winds up picking up about 10 more yards.
Jackie Harris was the guy Troy Aikman said they had to have when they signed him as a free agent in the offseason. Said he's the kind of guy you really are able to go to in clutch situations. He's his 35th catch this year. Right to throw again. Excellent protection. Unloads. That may draw a flag. There was a collision.
Incidental contact.
McKnight and Sehorn ran together, and McKnight certainly didn't think it was incidental.
Well, the Cowboys said that they wanted to go after Dave Thomas, but they're certainly not afraid of Jason Sehorn. There's a little quick move out and up. Now, I got to be honest with you. That's a good call by the official because Sehorn had the position.
Eric Williams on Michael Strahan. And Michael Strahan said he is the toughest guy he plays against. He's also the meanest guy that he plays against. He just threw him on the ground.
Emmitt keeps the legs driving into Giant territory at the 48.
He ran right through Keith Hamilton, and Keith Hamilton is one of the better tacklers on this Giant defensive line.
Keith Hamilton has had a magnificent year. There are a lot of people who think he should have made it to the Pro Bowl this season. 8 sacks. He's always been a good run stopper inside.
Emmitt's going to leave because he lost his shoe.
That's the only way you get him out.
And the rookie Michael Wiley out of Ohio State will come in his place. They had to glue him to his feet. Blitz coming right into the flat, and a miscommunication with his receiver, and now a flag is down. Thomas was riding McGarity out there, and it may be a hold. And this will be a first down for the Cowboys.
This ball is thrown nowhere near the receiver.
Holding, number 41, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down.
But that doesn't have anything to do with pass interference. This is actually holding. Just take a look at Dave Thomas. Now, he grabs him right there, and a legal check after 5 yards, whatever you want to call it. But it is a 5-yard penalty. I mean, a holding penalty, which is automatic first down. That's a good call.
It has been all Cowboys in a rapidly moving first quarter. Emmitt back in there. Stutter step gets him a little room. He's down to the 42. The Dallas Cowboys are leading this game 7-0, and they have the ball again in Giants territory as we hit the end of the first quarter from Irving, Texas. 7-0, Dallas. If you just joined us, we may have another upset in the making on an upset Sunday in the NFL. The Cowboys on top of the Giants, and Anthony Wright has been the leader so far. 4 out of 5, 59 yards. Has shown no hesitation, no nervousness whatsoever. protection. Down the middle, incomplete. That one nearly picked off. There's a marker down. Sean Williams had a shot at the interception. Now we'll check the penalty. Tom White, the referee. And this will go against the Giants.
This may be Dave Thomas again.
Illegal contact. Number 58, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down.
It's Mike Barrow, the middle linebacker.
Michael Barrow patrolling the middle of the defense. You see him drop back. Yep, you can't do that. He's too far past. The receiver comes across in that shallow zone. Actually, it was not 58, it was 98. Jesse Armstead, and he winds up pushing Jason Tucker.
Armstead just named to his 4th consecutive Pro Bowl.
They got to hunt him up. They can't hit him.
Emmett, a single setback. Look at the toss. Nice hole off the right side. Emmett to the 26. It's a special Saturday night edition of the NFL on ESPN next week as Eric Bolds and the Buffalo Bills head to the Pacific Northwest to meet Ricky Watters and the Seattle Seahawks. Coverage begins at 7:30 with the NFL Tonight. When Anthony Wright came into the game last week, he turned to Emmitt Smith and said, "Look, I need you."
I think he just did it again. He turned around and looked back at him again.
Well, we asked him what he would say this week, and he said, "I'm going to tell Emmett I'll be there for you." Emmett on the toss. Nothing but blue in front of him. He goes down for a 2-yard loss. Only 3 men in the history of this game have ever rushed for 15,000 yards in their career. You are looking at number 3 all time. He's closing in on Barry Sanders, and Walter Payton is less than 1,600 yards ahead of him.
And that last play was going to be a reverse. But Emmett saw that the defense had penetrated so much, he didn't even try and make the handoff to McGarity. He just kept it.
2nd and 12 after the loss. Right. Incomplete. McGarity got a hand on it.
You know what I really like? I like the way Jack Riley, the offensive coordinator, is calling this football game. He's just letting this kid cut it loose.
And you're absolutely right, Joe. They're working on Dave Thomas again. Here it is. Take a look at the outside. McGarity again. And this ball is really thrown the only place that McGarity could have caught it. If it goes to the inside, it might have been picked off. But look where he throws this ball. Back to the outside, it would have been a tremendous catch, but it was the right place to throw it.
The rookie Wiley checks into the backfield. Jason Tucker also out there for Dallas on 3rd and 12. 4-man rush. Wiley in the flat. Nowhere to go. Sehorn was right there.
That's a loss of a yard.
McDaniel was also in on the stop. Beautifully defensed by the Giants.
One of the things you tell a young quarterback is, look, protect field position. If we have an opportunity at a field goal, don't take a sack and don't try and throw it down the field and force anything.
Tim Cedar has made 23 this year. He's on to try one from 46 yards out. Finished school in '97, took a high school job as a phys ed instructor and a coach, and has found himself pursuing his dream and making the Cowboys kicker. And hitting that one from 46. The Cowboys with nothing to play for but pride, taking it to the Giants.
NFL Tonight.
A month ago in New York, you could find a lot of people that wanted to run Jim Fossil out of town. But since the guarantee and the 3-game winning streak, chance to run up the NFC East title tonight, everybody thinks Jim Fossil is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Well, you know, the one thing I really loved about him is when he said, when I went into training camp and the press is on me, he said, I didn't care about my job. Don't threaten me with my job. I know the security I have. And when he did what he did it because he knew the players were going to back him.
Well, he picked the timing, I think, was so good, too. He did it when they lost to Detroit. He felt like his football team needed to get shaken up. There was a lot of controversy around Larry McDuff, the special teams coach. So what he basically did, he said, hey, look, I'm going to take all the heat off this football team. Put it on you.
Psychologically, he has had brilliant timing. Dixon Fossil, somebody referred to him as Mr. Rogers as a coach. He did not like that at all. And it seems as the season goes along, Jim Fossil has made more pointed statements.
Well, I think he's more like Stone Cold Steve Austin right now. He's just taking everybody on, no matter who they say or what they say. This week, he wouldn't let his assistant coaches, his coordinators, talk to the media.
What he did with that guarantee, Joe, was give people the ammunition that if they wanted to get rid of him and the promise wasn't fulfilled, that was the ammo, and he knew it. Stood up after 2. Here's Jim Fossil on his life after that guarantee.
I'm having a ball. I don't worry about anything. I don't have a worry in my life. Everybody always thought, well, I came into the season, my job's on the line. Never fazed me. I never thought about it. All I thought about is making this team play to their capabilities, and they're doing it right now.
Gotta like Jim Fossil. He said he knew his team would respond to that guarantee, and boy, have they.
Well, his offense is going to have to do a better job than they've done so far today.
Collins, the screen to Barber. Breaks a couple of tackles. Tiki Barber. To the 36-yard line.
I'm going to tell you something, boys. This is all Tiki. I mean, this was a sensational run by Tiki Barber. He's having a great year. The screen was set out to the outside. You got to do something to loosen up these linebackers. Number 21 is Tiki Barber. Watch this. Bam! Great vision. Back to the inside. Now he picks up a block by Pettigrew, number 77, downfield. And he's moving. Monty Toomer down there trying to help out. That was a nice pickup by Tiki.
Caught more than 60 balls this year, rushed for over 800 yards. He's been a tremendous player. Hilliard on the quick out. McNeil makes the tackle at the 30, and he has just set a Giant record for all-purpose yards, which includes punt and kickoff returns. 1,842 all-purpose yards.
You want to pick out an MVP of this football team? Without question, it's Tiki Barber because he does so much. And really, when you look at the running aspect of it, he's rushed for 855 yards. But so far this year, he hasn't carried a ball more than 20 times in a game.
Dane is in there for him right now. Dane will get the carry and hit from behind. Never had a chance. Ebenezer Ekubon crashed down from his defensive end spot.
Well, one thing that everybody knows, and the Giants told us this, when Ron Dane is in the backfield, he's going to carry the ball, and when he carries the ball, no one blocks Ekubon. So Ebenezer Ekubon comes down the line of scrimmage. Watch this. Look at the speed. Knows Ron Dane's getting the ball. Nobody blocks him. He got it for a loss.
Ebenezer said he loves Zimmer. His defensive coach loves Campo, and it hurt that we weren't winning for them. They won it last week, trying to make it 2 in a row.
Pettigrew
this one dead.
Number 77.
False start. Number 77, offense, moving prior to the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Number 1 draft choice a year ago. Giants not playing their style of football tonight. They're making too many mistakes on both sides of the ball. That's the way they haven't gotten here doing this.
They're a rhythm offense, in and out of the huddle quickly. They're out of sync right now. They're not getting to the line of scrimmage, getting plays called in a rhythm that they're comfortable with. Now they don't even get one called in time for them to get it off.
Kerry Collins forced to use a timeout. 10-0 Cowboys.
It's seeking out
10-0 Cowboys over the Giants, 2nd quarter. Giants now have the ball at the 35-yard line. That Cowboy defense has given up only 93 yards in the first half. They came in number 1 worst against the rush, 20th overall in the NFL on defense.
Well, Joe, you said that the Giants were out of sync. These are the guys that put them out of sync. The Dallas Cowboy defense.
3rd and 9, Collins in the shotgun.
out of bounds.
Intended for Dixon. Sparks on the coverage. Collins has not been sharp so far tonight.
Well, he missed the opportunity for a touchdown to Ike Hillier earlier in the first quarter when he had an out and up. This one, he just airmails out way to the right.
And Jim Fossil sends on the punt team, trying to get field position.
You just got to figure you have to kick it to a corner here, don't you, Paul? I mean, there's no way you can kick this in the end zone from the 35.
Kick it out of bounds to his left.
Maynard, a very good inside the 20 kicker.
What? Who said that?
You said
Maynard, normally a very good inside the 20 kicker. And the jinx strikes again. A punt of 18 yards for Brad Maynard.
In a world of
overhead shots provided by the Yahoo Sports aerial cam high above Dallas, Texas. They have remarked the punt of Brad Maynard. It is now officially 8 yards. And Dallas takes over at the 27. Thomas, the fullback, with a rare carry.
You know, yesterday we talked to Michael Strahan, and he said he loves to play against Eric Williams. He said he's the best offensive tackle in the game. He says, and I like to go up against the best. He's not only one of the strongest, he said he's one of the meanest. And this has not been good for Michael Strahan. Eric Williams is 79, Michael Strahan is 92, and watch how close he gets to the quarterback. I don't think so. Puts him on the ground, he falls on him.
Williams is a four-time Pro Bowler, a real mauler inside, considered retirement before this season. Right. Knocked away at the last moment by Sehorn. And there is a marker down back where Wright was.
Roughing the passer. Well, I'll tell you, penalties have gotten these guys in a lot of trouble.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 49. Push the quarterback to the ground. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It's 41, not 49. Dave Thomas, the corner.
I don't understand when a quarterback breaks the pocket and he has the threat of being a runner. When he gets pushed to the ground, they call that roughing. To me, there's got to be a different interpretation. I mean, all he does is run into him, push him down. That, in my opinion, is not roughing the quarterback.
Well, he got like a three-step run at him.
Running into him, maybe. Roughing, I don't think so.
But another crucial mistake for the New York Giants. Emmett picks up a couple. College football bowl action for you next Sunday night at 8:30 Eastern. George Welsh in his final game as the head coach at the University of Virginia will battle Jim Donnan in his final game at Georgia in the Jeep Oahu Bowl. Known George Welsh for a long time, and it was very difficult for him to retire. The University of Virginia football program was in the dumper when George Welsh took over, and he's done a brilliant job throughout his career there.
Of course, we're on Saturday night next week.
Seattle.
Play action. Hamilton nearly got to right. He escaped. Throws incomplete behind Harris.
You know something, Joseph? In the first quarter, you talked about you want to get to a quarterback and disrupt him, get some penetration. Well, you want to talk about some penetration. Keith Hamilton, number 75. Just take a look at. Here comes some penetration. He penetrates all the way into the backfield and into the quarterback. Jackie Harris drops the ball, and Jesse Armstead almost had a shot at him.
Did you see Emmett try and block him?
Yeah.
Emmett just sort of like it's like getting in the way of a freight train.
Well, at least he got in his way.
209 against 295. Wiley checks into the backfield for Dallas on 3rd and 8. Dropped at the 35. Would have been a first down. Jason Tucker couldn't hold it.
Boy, when Anthony Wright operates out of the shotgun, it looks like such a comfort zone to him. I really like the way he throws the football. I mean, the Cowboys might have something special. Brings it out over the top, makes the throw, and even though the ball is down low a little bit, you've got to make that catch. You've got to make that catch.
Got into his body and bounced off. That would have been a big first down for Dallas. Mike and Noor will punt to Barber. Noor, a guy who's out of school for 4 years before he got his chance in the NFL. Nice high floater. Takes a good bounce for the Cowboys. Everything going Dallas's way. They have outplayed the New York Giants so far. They lead it 10-0. Second quarter from Irving. 'Tis the season in suburban Dallas, Texas. Beautifully decorated home there. I'm sure the kids have enjoyed that one.
Thank goodness no snow, though. They brought the snow in from Buffalo.
This guy does not have time to be at a football game. I've got a long list. Barber gets it out to the 15.
See, and I think they've got the right guy in the game right now. Tiki Barber, against the speed of this Dallas defense, I think has a better opportunity to pick up yards and make quick cuts than Ron Dane does.
It has not been a banner night for either before that carry. Each had the ball 4 times and gained a total of 7 yards. Now we have updated Barber. He's up to 5 for 10.
I think he gives you the best running opportunity.
Cowboys defense last against the rush in the NFL. Not tonight. Barber, nice juggling catch, but taken out of bounds by Darren Hambrick, the leading tackler on this club.
I just don't see Kerry Collins as comfortable throwing the football tonight as I've seen him in the past. He's missed some throws deep. This one here, this is a short pass out in the flat. He fires this one high. Tiki has to make a terrific catch just to knock it down and get control of it.
This guy's become an unquestioned leader on this ball club, and right now it looks like he is going to have to do the work tonight.
Well, they brought Ron Dane in and they take Tiki Barber out. And Kerry Collins told us he likes to be at the line of scrimmage with 20 seconds. Well, he got to the line of scrimmage, there were 8 seconds.
Collins can't find anybody. Ecubon in the chase, and he got it. Six and a half sacks this year for Ebenezer Ecubon out of North Carolina.
You talk about a motor running. Ecubon never stops in pursuit. 96 comes up the field. Dane cuts him. But look at the pursuit. He's on the ground. Underwood doesn't give Collins a chance to throw, and then he doesn't quit. And a terrible decision by Kerry Collins not to unload the football.
A 14-yard loss, which will force Maynard to kick it out of the end zone to McGarity. And McGarity is already at the Giant 45. Short kick. McGarity can't get up there. Bounces sideways out of bounds at the 44. Ebenezer Ecubon and the Dallas defense rising up tonight, throwing a shutout at the New York Giants.
Ray Catino.
To find out who's in and who's out, log on to NFL.com for the complete playoff picture. And you will find that nobody has clinched a division title.
I was just going to say, we all should, just to figure it out.
If you're a Dallas fan, you have to be flexible. Randall, Aikman, no, we're down to Wright. The Rocket, Galloway, they're both out, and we're down to McKnight. And they still lead it 10-0, and they have the ball at the Giant 44. Emmett, Strahan closed down in a hurry. Jim Fossil not happy with his offensive production so far.
He's not happy with his anybody in there. I mean, Kerry Collins is not making good decisions or throws. They need him to do that, and the offensive line is going to have to do a better job of protecting. They need to start making plays, and I guarantee you that's what he just told them.
Jim Fossil said a couple of weeks ago, I don't have the problem putting the hammer down on anybody.
And I also think that their defense is going to have to get after Wright a little bit. I don't think you can just rush 4 against this offensive line.
With time to throw. McKnight gets extra yardage inside the 30. James McKnight has been a guy that has become the go-to wide receiver with the injuries to Ismail and Galloway.
Why not? Nobody's covering him.
Well, he pushes him off. Up top, they push him off. He makes the turn. You see McDaniel try and come over and make a play, but the corner's so far off, he's nowhere near him.
Okay, now Michael Strahan again. Now there's a tight end blocking on Michael Strahan, and he can't get to the quarterback.
4:15 and counting, first half. Emmett on the toss. Cuts it back, nowhere to go. He'll lose a couple.
I think Foxy's got to come after him now. Second down, you got to put together a blitz so that you can't gain any yards, force a 3rd and long situation, make Wright put the ball in the air and go after him, and let your defense try and make a play.
Well, I got James McKnight is hurt, number 82, and he's down on the field.
That's all Dallas needs to lose another wideout. James McKnight just got to his feet off the artificial turf here at Texas Stadium.
Emmett on the run. McKnight trying to come down and block. He actually gets run over by Sean Williams, the safety. Literally run over.
They lost Galloway at the start of the season. Ismael went down. The Rocket, who was the leading receiver last year. And now McKnight. They have already thrown more balls tonight than they did all last week against the Redskins. Aikman threw 3. Anthony Wright threw 5. The entire game. A franchise low. Draw play. Emmett. Nothing doing. He'll lose another yard. Let's go to Solomon Wilcott. Solid.
Yeah, Mike, this week I talked to several scouts around the league, and they say the book on Anthony Wright is that he has great mobility and good arm strength, and he's very competitive. They say he's smart, and he's a heady player who knows the nuances of playing the quarterback position. I think he's already shown some examples of those abilities tonight. Remember, the Cowboys took him off the practice squad a few weeks ago when both the Dolphins and Chiefs tried to sign him away from Dallas, so his abilities are no longer a secret around the league, Mike.
Solomon, he has been very impressive. Looks like he's unshakable. Little swing. Down to the 25-yard line goes Wiley.
There's been a battle all night long between Eric Williams and Michael Strahan. Look at this. Now he goes down to his legs, cuts him. Michael Strahan still can't get off the line of scrimmage.
Well, and by doing that, he allows Anthony Wright to be able to make a nice, easy pass out to Wiley in the flat. So, you know, Eric Wright just changing up his technique.
Tim Cedar is on to try from 44. He had a 47-yarder earlier in the ballgame. Started to hook and then stayed inside the upright. The Dallas Cowboys manhandling the Giants.
Well, there was a little bit of pressure up the middle, but they got the ball up quickly, and when you do that, there's really no chance for the defensive lineman. Look at look at the penetration. Now, when you get your hand up, Christian Peter, number 99, was the guy that got his hand up. It would have been a little bit more to the right. He might have gotten a piece of it.
Yeah, but if you're a Giants fan, you got to stop and think about something, because since 1990, they've only won 1 game when they've been down by 12 points or more.
ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Hewlett-Packard, inventing new ways to live and work. By Southwestern Bell, a member of the SBC Global Network. By Heineken, it's all about the beer. Heineken. And by PlayStation 2. 13-0 Dallas Cowboys. The Giants can clinch the NFC East tonight and would be in control of home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But they've got to come back. Dixon. Reese down on special teams, the first man, and he got a lot of help for Dallas. Joe, you were talking just a moment ago about the Giants coming from behind. They are not built to do that.
Well, they weren't built to do that. They really weren't. In the past, I don't think they were. I think Jim Fossil's football team now has to move up another level. Now the game really falls in the hands of Kerry Collins. He proved last week against Pittsburgh that he has the ability to throw the football and throw for a lot of yards. As a matter of fact, in the 19 games that Kerry Collins has played, he's thrown for 300 yards 4 times and won 3 of them.
He may have to do it again tonight. Draw play, Barber, a lot of room. Tiki Barber shoved out shy of the 35. We have reached the 2-minute warning in Irving, officially at 1:57. Back after this. At the half, Chris Berman and the Toyota Halftime Show. Sports Center in game, the fastest 3 minutes in television, and the Packers sweep the Vikings. Just one of the stunning upsets that we had today. Kerry Collins has had a career season with the New York Giants this year. Gone over 3,000 yards for the first time in his career. He had a completion percentage goal of 60%. He's at 59.9. Thrown 19 touchdown passes. That's a career high. 10th in the NFL in quarterback rating. And from the depths from where he came, from substance abuse and all the problems that he had, I think everybody is happy for Kerry Collins. What a remarkable transformation. Steps up in the pocket. Now he's got to run. And slides in at the 37.
He didn't slide past the first down. They're going to be a yard short.
Now he can't ground it. They do have 2 timeouts, but I don't think he wants to use them up here with 1 minute and 35 seconds coming up.
Need a first down to keep the sticks moving. That's tipped but caught by Mitchell at the 41. That is a first down. Veteran tight end out of Boston College.
Now they're moving with some good pace now. This is what they need.
Don't be afraid to throw it in the middle.
Collins again with time over the middle, and it's dropped by Hilliard. Collins put it right there, and Hilliard is his favorite receiver.
If there's one thing good that resulted out of this play, when he bounced it up in the air, it did not get intercepted. But good protection by the offensive line. Now watch Kerry just smoke this one. Right through his hands. Ike just didn't get him up and get him ready. He makes the move inside. Greg Myers trying to cover.
Giants have had a couple of opportunities tonight. Collins wants the screen. Tiki Barber ran away from his blocking and did it all by himself. Larimore made the tackle.
Timeout, Giants.
Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Mike Tirico and the gang review Sunday's top stories and preview the Monday night matchup. Then at 9, it's ABC's Monday Night Football. Kurt Warner and the Rams head to Tampa to battle Warren Sapp and the Bucs. What a huge game with a week to go in the season.
Well, I remember last year in the NFC Championship game, we talked about if there's one football team that might be able to play the Rams and somebody who can rush 4 and drop 7, that is the team that can do it. How about John Lynch, too?
John Lynch is just remarkable.
The one-arm bandit.
I love it. Every once in a while he goes out the field and he can straighten his arm out and he goes back in.
Comes back in and drills somebody.
Paul, I think you were right. You said Kerry's got to work the middle. I still think the Cowboys are giving him a lot of room in the secondary. It's a good place to keep on firing the ball.
Over the middle this time, intended for Hilliard, incomplete. Williams on the coverage.
Somebody went to a spot and stopped.
Giants still with plenty of time. 57 seconds on the clock. 1 timeout left.
Yeah, you don't abandon the middle at around a minute. When you get down about 30 seconds or so, you can.
Well, and the reason why Sean Payton can continue to call plays to work the middle is because the Cowboys have got their safeties backed up and their corners off.
Collins with good time. Too far. Intended for Hilliard again.
He had Pete Mitchell, number 83, going down the middle, and he had time to throw the ball, and all he had to do was wait for him to clear. He's got to look at the tight end. Here comes Pete Mitchell, number 83. Now watch this. Boom, he waits, and look at here. Once he clears the linebacker, Dat Win, he's wide open.
Well, the thing is, he's not even close to the receiver. I mean, that ball wasn't even anywhere near catchable.
3rd and 10. again. That intended for Dixon. Isel Reese, the closest defender.
I think Carey's trying to put too much on the ball. I mean, this is a case, in my opinion, of overthrowing. Every ball he has thrown has sailed on him. Watch this turn. He's open. I mean, he's open. All he has to do is hit him somewhere reasonable in the numbers. But everything is coming out so high.
And now the Giants will have to punt it away.
He's just got to settle down and make the throws.
Maynard, who tried for the angle kick last time and only got 8 yards out of it, gets another poor kick. Walking toward the 20, past the 20. 22 yards this time.
Paul, I think you ought to just try and pooch one. What do you think? At this point.
These overhead shots provided by the Yahoo Sports aerial cam. High above Dallas, Texas, and Texas Stadium in Irving. Now, we saw Joe down on the field earlier, Paul, talking with Brad Maynard. And he's gotten off punts of 8 and 22 yards. Little sideline coaching going on again, partner?
You ruined the kid. You absolutely ruined the kid.
You are not going to give me credit for what's going on. I had nothing to do with this. We talked about Christmas shopping, not punting. Boy, he has kicked a couple of poor ones.
McKnight has a sprained knee for the Cowboys. He may not come back in the game. So their top 3 receivers would be sidelined. And they're down to 3 who are left on the active roster.
You know, if you're the Cowboys, you go in at halftime feeling good about what you've done. Everything you've called has worked out. Your line's blocking very well. If you're the Giants, you got to say, okay, defensively, we're doing okay. Offensively, we've got to start making some plays.
And this Cowboy defense will leave the field with a lot of pride for what they've done in the last 6 quarters. They hammered the Redskins a week ago. They have shut out the Giants in the first half tonight. Jerry Jones has got to be thrilled with what his club has done. That's the end of the first half. The score: Dallas 13, New York nothing. Now let's join Chris Berman for SportsCenter in Game, the Toyota halftime show.
All right, Michael.
This halftime show is presented by Toyota. More choices, better selection. Experience Toyota today.
The much-maligned Dallas defense throwing a shutout at the Giants. Back with the second half after this.
This team is going to the playoffs.
We just wanted to back them up, and right now we're playing as hard as we can for them, and we're playing as hard as we can for each other.
Biggest thing is we got 2 games left in the regular season, and our work's not done. I mean, everybody says, well, now we've found our way and we're playing well. Now, we've got 2 games, 2 tough games.
Kerry Collins with a perfect strike. Hilliard let it go right through his hands. Uncharacteristic first half mistakes by the New York Giants. Drops, penalties, missed tackles, and they are down 13-0 to the Dallas Cowboys.
Attention Cowboy fans, if you're following tonight's game, please join us.
When you're talking about the miscues of the Giants, just take a look at it. Here's the first one. This is a blocked field goal. Well, they actually had 2 bad punts. This is an 8-yard punt. And then after the quarterback throws, Anthony Wright, he gets hit. I mean, you're right, Joe. These guys were open. And the problem is he's just first of all, he's throwing the ball too hard.
He's trying too hard.
He doesn't have control of it.
I guarantee you, Jim Fossil and Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator, sat down with Kerry Collins and said, hey, look, relax. The game will come to you.
Jared Holmes active tonight because they've been disappointed with the kickoffs of Daloiso. He gets off a short one. Loose ball. The Giants have it at the 27. Jack Golden, the rookie out of Oklahoma State, with a recovery, and perhaps that's the break that the New York Giants needed, as Tucker coughed it up on the return.
Special teams has been something that Jim Fossil has stressed. He's made major changes. Tucker comes along. It's Damon Washington, a guy they just added to the roster for special team purposes, comes in and makes the play, makes the tackle, and knocks it away.
So the Giants set up shop at the 26 of the Cowboys. Barber can't get outside. What a play by Sparks. Played off the block and then made the tackle.
Sparks and Hambrick, the linebacker. I don't think that Tiki Barber would have outrun Hambrick either. Take a look at it. Felipe Sparks is on the outside. Hayden is trying to block him, but you look at Hambrick comes in and nails Sparks.
Yeah, Felipe said, just because I'm a former Giant, this game isn't special. I don't buy that one bit.
Right.
I think this is very special to him. He's playing really well.
Barber on the draw. Moments ago, our Solomon Wilcox had a chance to talk with Dave Campo.
All right, thanks, Mike. And, Coach, your defense performed well last week in the victory over the Redskins, getting the shutout in the first half here tonight. What adjustments have you made to get this defense turned around?
I tell you, we've got a lot of young players out there, and they're just getting better from week to week. The coaches are stressing, getting after it, playing hard. We're also getting upfield a little bit harder and a little bit more aggressive, and we're playing well right now.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Let's send it back to you, Mike.
All right, Solomon, thanks very much. And anybody who has met Dave Campo, I think, is in his corner. They would like him to succeed. A very nice guy. Joe, we're looking at a 3rd and 6.
You got 3rd and 6. I still believe that your best opportunity, they go with a little bunch package. Maybe you get the ball to Pete Mitchell. He's a big tight end. Give him an opportunity to make a play for you.
Oh. Wide open was Hilliard. I mean, wide open.
They bring Mitchell across the middle, and then they bring Hilliard in underneath him. And again, Kerry Collins just is not throwing the ball well. He's in a hurry. He's just not comfortable. And part of it has to do with the pressure. Watch from your right to your left. That's Hilliard underneath and Mitchell in the middle. Now, here's the question. Should have kept on running? I think that's what Kerry expected him to do. Instead, he sort of just sat down.
Boy, he did slow down. Dallaliso will try from 40. He had a 45-yarder block, and he missed that one.
That's incredible.
The Giants are wound tighter than a drum. One of the results of Jim Fossil's guarantee 3 weeks ago was that his team has been much looser ever since. They have played better football. Tonight, Kerry Collins and the rest of these guys look like they're playing very, very tight.
I think some of it has to do with the aggressiveness of the Dallas Cowboys, too. They're just letting it all fly.
Certainly, they deserve a lot of credit. Blitz coming. Right. No chance. And now the Dallas defense trying to pick up the pace, getting more aggressive. Armstead and Barrow, the linebackers.
This is what I thought Fox had to do. John Fox, the coordinator. Bring blitzes. If you can, what they'll do is they'll wind up stopping the run as well. But now you cannot let Anthony Wright be as comfortable in the pocket in this half as he was in the first half. That's the way John Fox is going to have to set the tone in the second half with his defense.
2nd and 20 for Dallas. Wright bobbles the snap. The Giants have it.
Mike Barrow.
Jesse Armstead with the recovery, and now Armstead going after Eric Williams, who knocked the ball out of his hand. Armstead recovered the fumble, got up with the ball. He went by Eric Williams, and the big guy slapped down at it, and Armstead turned and came after him.
And Williams went after him. The question is, who gets the flag? Is it the second guy in?
Well, Keith Hamilton, number 75, was also in the middle of all that. He went after...
Well, you know there's no love lost between the two.
Oh, no. Another huge break for the Giants.
I think it goes this way. It either goes against the Cowboys or they go offsetting and the ball remains where it is. We've seen the Giants special teams create an opportunity. Now the defense has created an opportunity.
Yeah, but they can't let this one go by.
Well,
and I'm not talking about 3 points either. I'm talking 7. You've got to put a touchdown on the board.
Well, it's up to the offense now to step up.
Tom White has the call.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 79 on Dallas. This will be half your distance to the goal. First down for New York.
One of the things you concern yourself with a young quarterback is the exchange. Ben Fricky, ball never gets quite to him. You see the ball on the ground. Jesse Armstead, quick to pick it up. Ball actually goes right through his hands. Well, now the Giants in 2 successive opportunities to get it done. Now we start woofing and pushing. There's the right cross.
Whoa. Can the Giants make them pay? Dane tripped up, gains 1, maybe 2.
You know, I thought Ron Dane learned something at the beginning of this year that he really cannot be jumping around. He's got to make one cut and go to the hole. He doesn't have the quickness, and he looked like he hurt his shoulder on that play, his right shoulder, but he really doesn't have the quickness to be jumping around.
Well, Greg Myers is also down for the Cowboys, but with Ron Dane, when you sit down and talk to him, he's the type of a player that really might have hit the wall because he's a young college guy.
It's pure football, all season long. The NFL Insider. Pick up your copy at newsstands now.
1 week to go in the season, and only 2 teams in the NFC have even clinched a playoff berth. Nobody has won a division. The Giants, with a win tonight, win the NFC East and have the advantage for home field throughout the playoffs if they can win out.
And you've got Amani Toomer up on top against Kareem Larimore, and they're trying to run the football outside.
Coakley with that tremendous speed. That's the 3rd time tonight he's chased somebody down.
Dexter Coakley saw the hole and filled it. And that's what his job is. The defensive linemen, they take care of the offensive linemen, and then you let your linebackers, who is a weak side linebacker, 52, watch him from the right. See the hole? He's in it. There's just no place for Tiki Barber to go.
With that speed.
I don't care who you are. Against these linebackers, Coakley in particular, you're better off running at him than running away and let him chase down things.
3rd and goal. Collins under pressure, throws incomplete, almost intercepted. That is an incomplete pass. Sparks has the ball, but they are going to say it is incomplete, and now there is a flag down.
Now there's another fight down about the 12-yard line.
No love lost between these teams. And here's where you can't lose your composure.
And more flags have come out. Tom White, the referee, has got to get control of this football game. If he has to start throwing multiple guys out of this thing, he's got to try and get more control of this football game because it's turning into a slugfest after every play.
Tell you what, this is hard to do, but if you are a New York Giant player and this game means so much to your ball club, if somebody wants to start slugging you, you got to stand there and take it and let them throw the flag.
And fortunately for Kerry Collins on this decided throw, it winds up being an incompletion. Almost nearly an interception.
You want to say that again? Some guy going to hit you in the mouth, you're going to let him hit you in the mouth? I don't think so.
Absolutely.
No, that's not how these guys got here. Here's the throw.
Ekuban again with pressure. Collins lets this go. Now, is it an interception? If I'm Dave Campo, I'm going to take this opportunity right now to challenge. I don't believe this ball hits the ground. I think that is an interception.
Boy, is that close.
I don't think it's close. I think Felipe Sparks intercepts it. It doesn't hit the ground.
Joe, I think you're right.
That ball does not hit the ground. Now, this is where your guys upstairs have got to try and do something. Ekuban really causes it.
And here's the bonus. They get all this time to look at replays because there are flags down everywhere, so nobody's going to quick snap the ball.
This may take, just because of the amount of flag, there isn't an official in this game that has a flag left in his pocket, except the referee.
We have an incomplete forward pass. conduct. Number 76 on Dallas is kicking the player. He is ejected.
Flozell Adams.
I think they got the number on Flozell as an offensive tackle.
Unless he came out on the field. I mean,
yeah, he may have come off the sideline.
All right, now I think the challenge is being instituted now. But we've got a little bit of housekeeping to go through.
Boy, don't we ever. Well, hopefully with all those flags, that was not the only call on that play.
Someone ought to send down another bag of flags.
Well, the incompletion would not cost a flag.
No, but there are flags from sideline to sideline, and Dave Campo really agitated.
He's finally telling his players, get on the sidelines. The only other six on there would be Ebenezer Ekubon.
Dallas is challenging the ruling on the field that this is an incomplete pass.
And, Joe, I think you're absolutely right. This should be overturned. That looked like a great play.
This is a challenge for Dave Campo. His guys have nothing at stake, and he's got to try and gain some control of them. Ekubon puts the pressure on Collins as he lets it go. Watch Sparks. See, he gets both hands underneath. That ball is a good 2 or 3 inches off the ground. This will be, I believe, an interception, and a heck of a one at that. Ball never touches the ground. Now, one of the officials threw the beanbag. Another one comes in. The one right behind there throws the beanbag.
But they're also saying the whistle blew because they said it was an incomplete pass. So the ball could not be advanced from beyond where he has it, but they would get the ball
on the 20.
On the 20.
That's correct.
And they are saying it is Ebenezer Ekubon who was called, not Flozell Adams, although that's the player they identified for kicking unsportsmanlike conduct, and he's gone.
The only problem is when you say it's going to be in the end zone, the touchback, I don't know, because his momentum brought him back onto the playing field when
they
he
could
went
get
down,
it at the
so
1
they
foot
could get
line.
it at the 1 foot line.
You don't get a lot of help when you go to Tom White because he has reversed fewer calls than any other official this year, 3 of 22.
I believe if he looks at the same replays that we do, which he does, there's no way he cannot overturn this because you can see that Sparks, his hands are above the turf, and there's no question. Watch this. That ball doesn't get anywhere near the ground. That ball is a good 4 or 5 inches off the ground when he cradles it and comes up with it. Right there again. It doesn't skip. It doesn't bounce. And his hands are between the turf and the ball. Right there. That's a perfect shot of it right there.
That's the shot that he has to be looking at right there because it shows.
Unfortunately for the Giants, I believe this will become possession of the Dallas Cowboys.
And when he was down, if they're going to blow the whistle, which they did, he was down in the end zone, so they should get it at the 20.
Yep.
Well, the only thing I'm questioning is, does he have control of it in the end zone or when he comes back out?
Here comes the...
Here you go, Tommy.
Reviewing the play. This is a completed pass in the end zone. An interception. It'll be Dallas's football. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will be enforced on the 20-yard line, which will make it Dallas's ball. 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line, and number 96 is ejected.
I think that is a wonderful job by Tom White. He got the call right on instant replay. They got the call right that he was down in the end zone. They move it out to the 20 and then assess the penalty from there. I thought he did a terrific job.
All right, number 96 is Ebenezer Ekubon. You see the kicks right there on the left-hand side of your screen? That's Pettigrew. He's kicking number 77.
Yeah, well, Pettigrew's trying to pull him out by his feet also. You see Pettigrew reach in and try and pull him out by his feet, and you see him kicking him.
Well, you can't.
Listen, I agree. I agree. Pettigrew's trying to pull him out. He kicks him. And there comes some more flags. And the way Ebenezer's been playing.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's looking at a career game.
He almost had his 3rd sack.
He's eating up Lomas Brown.
Ekubon will be escorted to the dressing room What got lost in all of this is the Dallas defense came up huge again. Back-to-back turnovers deep in their own territory, and the New York Giants are still shut out. The Giants started at the 27 after the fumble on the kickoff. They started at the 10 on this drive and have nothing to show for it. Now they're making the announcement again that Ecubon is gone.
You know, Ebenezer Ecubon, he gets ejected for kicking. Eric Williams punches Jesse Armstead in the mouth, but he doesn't get ejected.
Pettigrew's trying to pull him out. He's just trying to kick him off. I agree, you can't kick, so you get the ejection. But the game that Ebenezer was having, there's no telling what he's wreaked havoc on Kerry Collins. Big sack when they were coming out of their own end. Chase him around.
I don't think she's going to get a recount on this one.
No.
That's pretty close, but the Giants have rushed for only 32 yards against the most porous rush defense in the NFL. How about that?
Well, you go back and look what they did against Stephen Davis and the Redskins last week. Now, everybody sort of credited that to the fact that the Redskins' offensive line was in a makeshift position.
So is the Dallas defensive line. One missed opportunity after another for the New York Giants. Tucker with the fumble. The Giants get it. Daloiso had one block, then misses big field goal. Then Wright fumbles the snap from center. They've got a first and goal, and Collins throws an interception. They could be ahead in this game. Instead, they're still behind 13-0.
When I talked about Dave Campo getting his team together, Jim Fossil's got to get his troops rallied and have them gain some composure.
Excellent job by Sean Williams. He was at the corner, would not be moved, and turned it in.
You know, last 7 times that Emmitt Smith has carried the ball, he's lost 4 yards.
That's why I think right here, you just go deep. Let him cut it loose and put it up the field. Because what John Fox is doing for the Giants defensively is he's going up. Emmett's not getting any yards, averaging 2.1 a carry. Just let him fly. Let McKnight go on up the field against Sehorn or Thomas.
McKnight, who was hurt earlier, is back in the ball game. Blitz coming. Right out of the end zone. Complete first down at the 21. A perfect throw to Tucker.
Boy, I'll tell you, Anthony Wright, he just stayed in. He saw the blitz coming.
This is an opportunity to see what Anthony Wright sees as he drops back. This is from our goalpost cam. Max protect. Emmett's hanging in there to help out. He steps up and fires a strike. Dave Thomas has to make the tackle. Barrow comes up the middle. They pick him up. The big guys do a nice job of blocking, and he hangs in the pocket.
I don't know about you guys, but I think Anthony Wright's terrific. Back to throw again, a little half roll this time. On the run, throws incomplete. McKnight trying to get back to it. His composure is the one thing that has struck me tonight. He doesn't seem to be shaken by anything.
Well, I had a chance to talk to Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Kevin had him last year in training camp and played some preseason. He was very high on that. And then when there were some changes made in the front office in Pittsburgh, Anthony Wright was let go. They got T. Martin, who they think can be a good football play for him as well. But you see Felipe and Randall talking it over, and, you know, you see a lot of Randall Cunningham and Anthony Wright. I think he gets rid of the ball quicker, but a lot of mobility.
Draw play, Emmett. Tries to cut it outside. Garnes, nice job, and he makes the tackle.
You know, the amazing thing about this game, the first half there were no turnovers. And in the first 3 minutes and 18 seconds of the second half, there have been 3.
The Giants have lost 2 straight games to quarterbacks making their NFL starting debut. Steve Matthews for Jacksonville in '97 and Ty Detmer for Philadelphia. A 40-13 win against the Giants, a 19-10 win against the Giants. They beat Erickson when he was the starter for Tampa Bay. But if performance is any indication, Anthony Wright is trying to make it 3 out of 4.
Oh, he's got time.
just off the outstretched fingertips of McKnight. Kid throws some lasers, doesn't he?
The thing I like about him, he's only 6'1", but I think he plays taller than that. And the reason I say that is because the delivery of the ball comes out so high that you very seldom see him throw a ball below someone's waist. They're all very catchable and up in the air.
Nor to punt to Tiki Barber. The Giants' special teams have been much improved since Jim Fossil's guarantee, and they could really use a huge play here. Nice kick. Fair catch? No fair catch. And Barber is drilled as he went out of bounds. 6-yard return, a 42-yard punt. There is a marker down on the play. Are they going to say it was a late hit? Or did someone else get involved afterward? Guys are really getting chippy out there.
This one, I think, may go on Darren Hambrick, number 54.
Well, Brandon Short, number 53, came off on the Giants side, and he was very happy. I agree. The coach has got to settle these guys down. Don't get stupid. I mean, and most of these penalties we're seeing now are just stupid penalties.
We're past that.
Yeah.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 54, Dallas. That's a 15-yard penalty. Be a first down for New York. Timeout.
Darren Hambrick with the penalty. Giants ball when we come back. While we were in commercial, this is Dave Campo. He's going crazy because he wants Darren Hambrick to stand right beside him. Hambrick was called for the personal foul. Hambrick is not coming out of the game. They sent Joe Bowden out to take his place. Finally, on the second try, they got him out of the ball game. And Campo is just unbelievably upset. Incomplete pass. Contact as Camelo was downfield with Dexter Copley.
I'll tell you one thing about this Giant team. If they don't do something on this offensive series right now, they may just fold.
Well,
Hambrick is back in.
Jim Fossil, remember, has turned the offensive coordinator and play calling over to Sean. Hey, that's Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator. He's going to intercept Hambrick before he gets to Campo.
That's a good thing.
Campo looking at him.
Campo making an unnecessary roughness penalty.
Kerry Collins has missed his last 7 throws. Finally completes one, and Barber will pick up a yard.
Hambrick just tried to kill Tiki Barber.
The New York Giants offensively try very hard to be a disciplined, in-sync style of offense. The Dallas defense has not allowed them to do it, and some of the passes that I've seen Kerry Collins throw here just don't make sense. He's throwing them off his back foot. That time it was supposed to be a quick sling out to the left. He comes back late to Tiki Barber that gains no yards.
Look at the field position that the Giants have squandered in the second half. 2 wonderful scoring opportunities. They'll blow this play dead.
False start. Number 66, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Joe, you said the Giants' offense hasn't been in sync. Hasn't been the Backstreet Boys either.
You're right, Mike. And Jason Whittle is in for Glenn Parker, playing the left guard position, who didn't dress out tonight.
They hope Parker will be back next week, more likely in 2 for the playoffs. Collins. Almost intercepted.
Can I just say something? This play to me is the most ridiculous play that you want to call. You've got third down and 15, and you're going to run your quarterback to the side of the field where you just eliminate 3/4 of the field and then try to fire it in, and there's 4 defensive backs there. That's insane.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with you in that regard. I don't mind the play call. I have a problem with the decision throwing the ball up the field.
Execution wasn't real good either. Maynard to kick to McGarity. So the Giants 3 times in a row in Dallas territory, and they come away with absolutely nothing. McGarity bobbles it. Holy cow. It looks like Dallas is trying to give it away, and the Giants won't take it. McGarity with the muff, got it back. And Dallas will start from its own 5. They're still ahead, 13-0. These overhead shots provided by the Yahoo Sports aerial cam. High above Dallas, Texas. We are in Irving at Texas Stadium in what has been a bizarre third quarter. Still 13-0. Dallas on top of the New York Giants. Right against the blitz hit as he throws incomplete. Well, the Giants defense is certainly doing its job.
Well, I like the calls that John Fox is making. He is not going to allow Anthony Wright to get comfortable anymore. He saw it in the first half. That's the end of it. Here comes the blitz. 36 is Sean Williams. He comes up inside and just about manages to take the ball out of his hands. I think you just keep on doing it and take your chances that the guys have to make tackles on Emmett if he does run the football.
LaFleur and Harris are in a double tight end set. From the end zone again, right to Harris, and he is drilled the moment he touched it by Sam Garnes.
Marcus Evans is thinking, the Giants have started at the Dallas 27-yard line this time. That's their average start. The 27-yard line. They ran 10 plays. The New York Giants, no yards, had not gained a yard.
You know what? Jim Fossil's not very pleased with what he sees. I know that.
Well, you're talking about the Giants defense. This Dallas defense, they have shut these guys down totally.
Well, let me repeat that. They have started at the Dallas 27. The average start this had the Dallas 27.
If you don't do anything, you should have field goal attempts.
Right to the end zone again. Harris fighting for first down yardage, carrying Dave Thomas with him.
And he got it.
That's a heck of a play by Wright and by Harris.
Well, let me just say it. What you're doing is, again, you're counting on that 4-man rush to go up against one of the better offensive lines, and Anthony Wright has the time. Again, they're in zone. Harris comes out of the backfield, just a little hesitation. Dave Thomas isn't going to bring down Jackie Harris.
And, Joe, how about the call? Here is a second-year quarterback making his first start in the NFL. They're just throwing everything out there. Go get him, kid.
Jack Riley is not treating him like one. He's letting him run his football game.
Damn it. Hamilton had him around the ankles and made the stop. It's a special Saturday night edition of the NFL on ESPN next week as Eric Bowles and the Buffalo Bills head to the Pacific Northwest to meet Ricky Watters and the Seattle Seahawks. Coverage begins at 7:30 with the NFL Tonight. You like fog, freezing rain,
well,
cold temperatures, and wind? Join us Saturday night.
I'm assuming Paul has made reservations for dinner on Friday.
Made reservations.
Wright again. A rush in his face, and he throws it away.
Oh,
and Wright was pummeled. Christian Peter took down the quarterback. Let's see if it was too late.
You know, you talk about two stupid mistakes. Christian Peter, this is roughing the passer.
I think now, as a player, you've got to get to know the officials in a football game. It no longer amounts to just going out and playing a game. You have to know what officials will allow.
Personal foul, roughing a passer, New York, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And one thing that everybody should learn, that Tom White is really going to protect the quarterback. He comes in with that helmet. He comes in with that helmet right in the chest. Peter manages to get by, nails him with the head down right in the chest. Good call, but you got to understand what the officials are going to call.
If you know if your helmet hits a quarterback in the chin, it's a penalty. You can't do it. In the flat, the catch made by the fullback Thomas. Now they rule incomplete.
I'll tell you, this is as close as Michael Strahan has gotten to the quarterback, Anthony Wright, tonight. And he hit him just as he let go of the ball in the back. And this young man, Anthony Wright, bounces up. Here he comes. He beats a tight end. Look at this. Bam. I mean, that's a good hit.
Now he can get around Dave LaFleur, but he's had a heck of a time with Eric Williams, who is still in the game.
Michael Strahan said they became a team after Jim Fossil made the guarantee, and he just loved it. Too high for Harris. The other thing that Strahan said that impressed me, he says, you know, it's so much fun because I'm on a team now, not just a defense. For years, the Giant defensive players had come off the field just glaring at the offense.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
They might be glaring tonight.
They're glaring tonight, Adam, because they're wearing this defense out. But the defense are making a lot of stupid mistakes, a lot of stupid penalties that are allowing the Dallas Cowboys to keep the ball.
5:21 to go, third quarter. Dallas faces 3rd and 10. Pressure on the right. They got him. Strahan paved him after Keith Hamilton made him step up.
Well, Keith Hamilton is the guy that makes this play for Strahan. Strahan's being blocked on the outside by Eric Williams. But Keith Hamilton makes Anthony Wright step up. Watch. There's a stunt, and Strahan gets by, and then bam. I'd give Hamilton a half.
Barber will go back and wait at the 34 for Micah Moore's punt. There's the flag down, so is Barber in his tracks. And now more pushing and shoving.
Flag day.
Ineligible man downfield for Dallas.
I'd make him kick it again.
Joe Avizano.
Your field position has been at their 27 all night in the second half. Go ahead, make
Eligible lineman, number 44, the kicking team, was downfield. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
Robert Thomas, the fullback, and they'll do it again after a 5-yard walk-off. Coming up next, Sports Center with Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen. They'll catch you up on the day in sports. We'll have our NFL Blitz, the Sunday conversation with Mario Lemieux, and Kobe is on fire for the Lakers. Just got 40.
He's unbelievable.
Most recent outing.
He is so much fun to watch.
He's a special athlete. Moore to punt again. Boomer. Barber back at the 28. Got to the outside. Across midfield into Dallas territory again. That's where they played the third quarter. Michael Strahan and the Giant defense are doing it. Now they need help from the offense. Every single snap that the New York Giants have taken in the third quarter has been in Dallas territory. They started at the Dallas 27, missed a field goal. They started at the Dallas 10 and had a pick. They started at the Dallas 43 and had to punt. They have gained no yards. Barber slithers forward to the 43. Michael Myers made the tackle for the Cowboys.
I think the Giants now have to approach this as really a new game. Get Tiki running the football. You don't have to hurry. You get something out of this drive, and you go back and put your defense on the field, because it looks like the Cowboys are going to struggle offensively unless they can manage a big play in the passing game. But get your offense back in rhythm.
4 minutes to go, third quarter. Collins throws underneath. Mitchell should have the first down and does, the 37-yard line.
That was actually a fumble. Pete Mitchell actually fumbled that ball. And fortunately, it falls down underneath him. There you go. Give Kerry throws. All right, from the ump cam. There's the throw. Now he's still up. He's still up. That ball's out. Fortunately for the Giants, it hits his knee and he winds up on top of it.
Now they're challenging it? Dallas. Remember, they already challenged one.
And won a big one.
Well, the thing is I think Pete Mitchell still had possession. So,
are they challenging the catch?
That's the only thing they could challenge, to say, was it a complete or an incomplete pass?
No, it's a fumble.
No, but as you said, he got it back.
Right. See, but Dave's a little upset because he thinks he got some bogus information, thinking maybe that the Cowboys had recovered it.
You got to run out on the field and pick up that little red flag.
His buzzer's working tonight. Once he makes the challenge,
you can't change your mind, can you? You can't say, oh, well, I wanted to challenge it, but now I'm not going to.
Slipsies.
Dave trying to make his argument, and Tom White wants no part of it.
Now he's saying
I didn't buzz it.
There was a red flag on the field, man.
I didn't throw the flag either.
Look at Tom. I don't know what to do now.
It just fell out of my hand. Now, this is a fumble. There's no question. The catch is made. The ball is out. And
Hambrick out, and the ball
Dallas
comes
is challenged in the play, the ruling on the field, that this is a fumble recovered by the same player.
What? Well, the reason why he has to do that is because the challenge was made. Now, he'll walk over. This ought to take literally about 5 seconds. And Dave is upset with the information that he got from his bench. You know, they said it was a fumble, but they neglected to tell him that Mitchell actually recovered it. There it is, right in his hands. He's laying right on top of it.
So this is going to cost Dallas a timeout.
And a huge
Which
insult.
right now is no big deal.
And a huge insult.
And Dave knows.
That's what he's really mad at. He's mad at this information that he got.
Comes out.
Hambrick did a nice job sticking the right hand in there, knocking it out.
Hambrick better because he's so far in the doghouse right now with Dave Campo. See, Dave knows.
Come on, Tom.
You know what I like?
You're making this a lot longer than it needs to be.
I like that he went over to him and looked down at the buzzer and said, gee, did I really hit this?
How about the 16% that wants it overturned? What are you looking at?
Could those be Dallas voters, you think?
I think so. What are you looking at?
Now, remember, once he sticks his head under the hood, he has 90 seconds.
Oh, please.
Okay, ready? You're in. Okay, let me look at the first replay. All right, Mitchell caught the ball. Okay, yep, it did get knocked out. Okay, Mitchell fell down.
You don't have to stay there for 90 seconds.
Okay, ball's out.
Ball's down.
Mitchell has it. You see it tucked under his right arm. Possession Giants, 1st and 10 from the 37.
Well, we've pretty much beaten that one to death, haven't we?
We're filling.
Oh, now it's up to 19% wants it overturned.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, there must be a lot of empty beer cans out there somewhere, you think?
Tom White has made his decision.
Oh, good.
After reviewing the play, this is a fumble, subsequently recovered by New York. Dallas is charged a timeout.
At this point in the game, timeouts are much more precious for the New York Giants than they are the Dallas Cowboys, but you never want to throw one away.
Right, and he knows he threw one away.
The Giants came into this game with a chance to win the NFC East and have the advantage for home field throughout the playoffs if they can win tonight and next week. They are in great jeopardy of throwing it away. They're down 13-0. They have a first down at the Dallas 37. They have spent the entire third quarter in Dallas territory with no points. Barber, nice hole, but it closed quickly. Demetrius Underwood and Kareem Larimore. The third quarter seems like it started yesterday. Actually, it's only been going for almost an hour.
54 minutes.
I know where those 19% came from.
Where?
Philadelphia. That's where the 19% came from. They're all screaming in Philadelphia.
2nd and 6 for the Giants. Collins with time incomplete. Hilliard, the intended receiver, Baron Wortham, was right there with him.
Kerry Collins has not had a very good night. He's thrown the ball. The first half, he was 9 for 16, but was wild high. Here in the second half, just 6 yards. He's 2 for 7. Now, keep in mind, he threw for over 330 yards last week against Pittsburgh, which I think is a pretty good defense as well.
One of the best games of his career, 24 of 35, 333 yards.
And the Giants just have not challenged this Cowboys secondary deep.
There's the deep one. Toomer, touchdown.
Wait a second. Until this point, there was something else coming out. I mean, I was just amazed that it took him that long to try and go up top.
33 yards to Amani Toomer from Kerry Collins.
Boy, was this a perfect throw. Ryan McNeil, number 47. Got lost.
And as dominant as Dallas has been in this ball game with the extra point, this is a 6-point game.
Amazing.
Galoiso cuts the lead to 13-7. The Giants right back in it.
See what happens when you play double zone. The safety's got to help out. There's the safety right there. Here's the corner. What you can do is you're going to get a guy down the middle, and then he's here. He's supposed to play back and help either side. He doesn't really get it done. What he does is you see the safety start outside. Now he works to Mitchell in the middle, and it's a good job by Amani Toomer running hard up the field. Okay, McNeil thinks he's got help, but where is the help? Well, the help's over in the middle of the football field. Now he can't catch up to him.
Amani Toomer with his 6th touchdown catch of the season, and Kerry Collins has now thrown 20, which is a career high. Finally, something to celebrate for Kerry Collins now in his 6th year out of Penn State.
Well, I think they finally called the right kind of play against that defense.
Let's go to Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike, the safety on that play who did not make it over the top was Felipe Sparks. Remember, he's a cornerback. He was filling in for Greg Meyer, who's out with a left sprained knee. Now, remember, Greg Meyer is filling in for Darren Woodson and George Teague, who are both out. So they're the 2 starting safeties. With 3 safeties out of this game, well, you have Felipe Sparks playing safety when he's normally a corner.
Solomon, they got guys filling in for guys all over this roster. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Timex with ridiculously easy eye control setting system. By Campbell's Chunky, soup that eats like a meal. By Hewlett-Packard, inventing new ways to live and work. And by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. Fountain Plaza in Dallas, isn't that beautiful?
What a novel name.
Now, can Dallas do anything on offense? They have been shut down in the 3rd quarter. Another blitz coming. Right incomplete. Intended for Harris. Phillips on the coverage.
Okay, this is an outstanding coverage by the linebacker, Ryan Phillips, number 91. I mean, just to get there, most linebackers will do some grabbing. Watch this coverage here. Jackie Harris inside, Ryan Phillips, boom. That's nice.
He was a defensive end in college. He said when they made the transition, I didn't know where to go and I didn't know how to get there.
Well, they just showed him. He can play linebacker now.
Fast learner. Dallas, which had abandoned the run, gets it to Emmett, and he'll get about 4.
The Giants against running backs. You remember that there's only been 1 running back this entire year.
And who was that?
Over 90 yards against the Giants. Eddie George.
Okay.
This is what they've done. Take a look at this. I mean, you talk about shutting people down. Eddie George, but he carried the ball 35 times to get 125 yards against the Giants.
And those are all 1,000-yard backs. Third and 9. Wiley is in as the 3rd down back, the rookie. Anthony Wright. And that's going to be interference on Sehorn.
This is the second time they've gone up top on Jason Sehorn with James McKnight. And the thing is, they weren't even blitzing this time. They let Anthony sit back there and have a chance to get a good look to put it up down the field.
If Sehorn had gotten his head around, he could have easily made a play on the ball, but he just ran right into McKnight.
Pass interference. Number 31, defense. That's a first down.
What young wide receivers, any wide receivers have to understand is you beat people at the line of scrimmage is where you make your routes. McKnight just leaves Sehorn left in the dust, and then Jason's got to try and catch up to him and never has a chance to. It was an excellent job at the line by James McKnight to win on that route.
A 29-yard penalty. Play action by Wright. Now under pressure, and Hamilton came straight through. What a great year he has had. 9 sacks now for Keith Hamilton.
I mean, you've got Keith Hamilton. He just comes right up the middle. Look at this. Keith Hamilton. Ricky is the center. He doesn't even get a chance. Now you see it from the ump cam. Look at this.
Keith Hamilton, everybody talked about the excellent job he did as a run stopper. He showed a lot of pass rush, too.
And Fricky is in for the injured Mark Stepnowski. Right. Rolling on a roll to the sideline. Incomplete, out of bounds. McKnight made the catch, but couldn't stay on the field.
Well, this time they don't let Anthony Wright sit in the pocket. They try and roll him out and push the ball up the field to get Sehorn to turn. Does a nice job of throwing on the run as well. McKnight can't get his other foot down.
3rd and 20 for Dallas.
See, I still wouldn't feel like just going zone and giving him a chance to sit back there. I'd still put pressure on him.
4-man rush. Wright scrambles. Trying for the first down yardage, and he got close.
He didn't get it because I'll tell you what. You know the sad part about this is the official that's on the side that marks it wasn't even there when he goes down. Now he spins in the air. This is really going to be close, but he doesn't make it.
But they're going for it, and I love the call.
I'll bet they do.
You have to. See, this is what I don't understand. It's 3rd down and 20. You rush 4, everybody drops back in zones, and you've got a quarterback that has this type of athletic ability. He does a heck of a job selling out to try and make it.
4th down and a yard. And Dave Campo wants to use the timeout. He wants to make sure, and they finally see him. They'll have 1 left.
You know what? They really did the Giants a favor, because the Giants were very late in getting their call in. And instead of using a timeout, the Cowboys accommodated it.
Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Mike Tirico and the gang review Sunday's top stories and preview the Monday night matchup. Then at 9, it's ABC's Monday Night Football. Kurt Warner and the Rams head to Tampa to battle Warren Sapp and the Bucs.
Ho, ho, ho.
You're getting close to that ho,
Ho, ho, ho. It's ho-ho time.
Have your shopping done?
They're at the Metroplex. Beautiful.
Joe got all of his shoplifting done earlier. Working the plaza.
Well, we had a power failure out at one of the big malls
Yeah,
here.
I know, and I grabbed my wallet
Great
first.
stuff.
All the lights went out, and I grabbed one of my wallet because I know Joe was going after
If
it.
the Giants aren't careful, the lights are going to go out for them tonight.
4th and a yard. Emmett. Close. Emmett got it.
I trust you, Eagle Eye. Jerry Jones down on the sidelines, peering, where he has said he will spend a lot of time.
They appear to have it marked inches past our gold 1st and 10 line. And they do. 1st down, Dallas at the Giant 36. And that will end the 3rd quarter. The Cowboys continue to lead New York.
NHL.
Cowboys 13-7 over the Giants as we start the fourth quarter in Irving. Absent tonight from the Dallas lineup, longtime veteran quarterback Troy Aikman, who suffered his second concussion of the season, the 12th, or make it the 11th, of his career in high school, college, and pro. His health is in question. His future is in question. And Jerry Jones knows as well as anybody the direction this football team is going to take is in question. With or without Troy Aikman. Right to throw. And they've got him again.
You know,
Strahan and Hamilton.
I don't know why they just don't do it every down. You give him a 3rd and 20, you go zone, he picks it up. Now you start blitzing again.
The only success Michael Strahan has really had tonight is when he's been on top of a tight end. And here he is on the top of LaFleur. And look at him. He beats him all around the outside. That's his quickness. Hamilton comes up the middle.
Keith Hamilton, number 75, against Fricky again. He's got to love playing over the nose. You know, and this isn't something that the coaches didn't expect. They figured that they'd find the weak point and put the strong guy over him.
Toss to Emmett on 2nd and 19. Inside the 45, there are markers down.
Tripping against the Cowboys.
Eric Williams stomped on the flag. Jumped up and down on it.
Well, now this is I think Fossil's going to want to take this and put him back even further, move him further away from the first down.
Defensive players probably feel fortunate he was just stomping on the flag.
They've got a quarter to play.
Number 79, offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Michael, you were talking about Troy Aikman. I had a chance to visit with him down on the sidelines before the game, and you know, he felt that his head was clear enough to come back into the game last week against the Redskins after the one series, but they really didn't see a point in it. But he has every intention, I believe, of coming back and quarterbacking his football team next year. He's feeling real good.
He is due a $7 million bonus payment on March 8th if they intend to keep him on the roster. Out in the flat, a little swing to McGarity. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, concerning the future of Troy Aikman, I recently spoke with former Cowboys quarterback Roger Staubach, who retired after receiving his 15th concussion. Now, Roger said he decided to retire based on the recommendation of his doctor and the fact that he was 38 years old at the time. He said, had he been the same age that Troy is right now, which is 34, he said, well, he would have continued to play. I then asked Roger, well, what advice would you give your own son if he were faced with the same dilemma? Roger said, I would want him not to play, Mike.
Well, I can understand that, Solomon, and you go back to the case of Steve Young. Nobody wants to see a guy you admire hurt. Right, trying to scramble. Taken down by Jones as he reached the 41. Staubach, by the way, has been tremendously successful running a commercial real estate company with revenues of about $180 million a year ever since he got out of football.
Well, Troy, it's not money, has nothing to do with that. But, you know, there's just a desire to play, Joe, and, you know, it's hard to walk away.
Well, you talk about Roger Staubach. CNN reported that President-elect Bush has considered making Roger Secretary of the Navy.
Wouldn't that be something?
The cabinet is full of just wonderful people.
Roger's a very bright guy. Fair catch made it to 10. Punt of 31, so the Giants, who have gotten back to within 6 points, and there's another flag down. Holy cow. Tough to go 2 plays without a penalty.
Jack Golden's involved in this one again, number 90.
And he's really upset.
Said it's against Dallas.
Another personal foul.
Darren Hambrick, he's checking his, was it, please let it not be me. I don't want to have to go face Coach Campo again.
That's 4 personal fouls against Dallas.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52 on Dallas after the play was over. At 15-yard penalty, first down for New York, timeout.
That's Dexter Coakley. 4 personal fouls in this half.
This team is going to the playoffs.
I wanted to get everybody else off our back. Everybody was telling us what we couldn't do, and I knew we could do better. And we needed something for this team to rally behind, and they've done that.
Right now, the NFC is very open to whoever wants to take it. And we just have to have the attitude that we're going to be the team to take it, that we're not going to be denied.
And that NFC playoff picture is still wide open. Only 2 teams are in. Nobody has won a division as yet. The Giants are down by 6 in this game. If they win, they clinch the NFC East. But they've got to win. They face Jacksonville next week. Dane across the 30. If you're a Giant fan, you have to be sitting there wondering how many opportunities can we squander with all this on the line.
Well, they're always saying, let's take it. Let's take it. Well, the defense has been trying to take it, and the offense is trying to give it back to them.
The one thing you hear constantly from this football team, which I don't think you've heard in the past from the Giants, is they're all talking about team. And that's the one thing that Jim Fossil made a priority, was to unify this football team. That's why he turned over the offensive coordinatorship to Sean Tate.
2nd and 6. Barber nailed by Myers, but fights forward and gets it out to the 35-yard line. Joe, you have been in a lot of these NFC East battles when there was a lot on the line. Did you notice the Giants tighter when we talked to them yesterday? I thought they were still pretty loose.
I thought they were still pretty loose, but coming out and watching them play tonight, I think Kerry Collins in particular was trying just to be too perfect. I think he's settled down now. The halftime break was good for him. He's relaxed a little bit and throwing the ball better.
3rd and a yard. Ron Dane, the deep man in the eye. Dane will get the carry, cuts it outside, fights for the yardage. Nice cut by Ron Dane, who has remarkably quick feet for a guy his size.
But you know something? He goes down too easy when people get to his feet. I compare him the same kind of feet as Jerome Bettis, but they're not. He's not as powerful. He even told us it's a good thing that Coakley's trying to grab him by his shirt and doesn't get him by his feet. He said one of the things that he wants to work on in the offseason is to get his legs even stronger.
They barely get the first down. 1st and 10. Collins. All day to throw. Now the pressure comes and he throws it away. Smart play by Kerry Collins.
They were going to take a shot down the field to Amani Toomer. It's a play-action pass, max protect, and let Amani try and run down the field. Just a crossing route. Now he sees Kerry scramble. He's the only one out in the pattern.
Paul, you played on championship teams, big games. Did the guys you had around you, did they get tighter? Did they play better? What?
No, I'm going to tell you something. I go way back. I played in 6 of them, won 3 and lost 3. And that wasn't because the guys were tight. And these guys right here, I don't know. When I look at the offense, I have a problem because all the confidence of this football team is when we sat down with Kerry Collins yesterday. He said, I am more comfortable than I've ever been in my entire life. He said, what about the pressure of this game? We have none. Every single player that we talked to on this football team had all the confidence in the world, not only in the defense, but also in the offense. But the offense, for some reason or other, did not show up tonight.
Well, but it looks like they have now. They still have a chance. They got the big play going in the 3rd quarter. This is a big 3rd down conversion for them. I think you got to look for the tight end. He's been a big part of it. Pete Mitchell has been the guy they've gone to before.
Incomplete off the hands of Mitchell. Hawthorne on the coverage, and they'll have to punt it away.
Kerry Collins went to him on a turn in the last time. This time he swings out. Ball's just thrown a little bit too far outside. Again, Kerry Collins has just been that half a step off with his receivers.
He's hit 3 of his last 14, and now Maynard will punt it away to McGarity. Beautiful punt. McGarity all the way back to the 6. Cut down at the 11. Sean Williams down on special teams, a 5-yard return, but a 51-yard punt.
We're changing people.
9 minutes, 49 seconds to go in the ball game. Dallas will start from its own 12. Their only offense of this half has been a pass interference call. The Giants have shut them down totally. Emmett for a couple. With all we have said, the Giants' mistakes, Kerry Collins not having a good night, all the other stuff that they've done, squandered field position, they're only down 6 points.
Yeah.
One touchdown wins the game. They win the NFC.
But I think for Jim Fossil's football team, this is a critical set of downs because they're probably going to have 3 possessions. You know, 2 of them would require field goal attempts made. 1 would be a touchdown. So they're getting limited in time and possession.
Blitz coming. Emmett hitting the backfield. Sean Williams hit him 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, see, this is something you were talking about. This is only a second down play in long yardage, but they're blitzing, and they're bringing a safety up. Sean Williams is the free safety, number 36. Watch him right there on the line of scrimmage. Nobody there to block him. He's in the backfield and gets Emmett.
When you look at the change in philosophy that the Giants defensively have brought on, the first 4 possessions for Dallas in the first really were accounted for 120 yards. Since they've started blitzing, they've had 6 possessions. They've had just 20 yards.
3rd and 9. Anthony Wright, short set intercepted by McDaniel. Another turnover and the first mistake of the game for Anthony Wright.
It really is, and it is a shame. Anthony Wright has played a marvelous football game for his first start with the Dallas Cowboys. His first start in professional football. Bam.
Emmanuel McDaniel with his 6th interception, and John Fox just continuing to throw some disguises at him. He's the inside receiver, jumps right in front of McGarity. But you know something, guys? If you make your quarterback have to line up and throw on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 15, I don't care who you are, percentages are not going to go in your favor.
Another huge opportunity for the New York Giants. Barber. Room to run. Beat Larimore. Touchdown.
Boys, you just saw some speed. Tiki Barber showed speed.
Kareem Larimore had the 3rd fastest time in the combine this year. He can fly, and Tiki Barber left him.
Yeah, but you can fly straight ahead. You can fly sideways. I don't think so. Watch Tiki Barber. Here it comes. There's Larimore. Look at 41. He takes the bad angle to him. Tiki Barber stays in. He gets hammered by Felipe Sparks, but that doesn't make any difference. It's already a touchdown.
Well, you're right, Paul. The angle is what kills Larimore. He tries to come in and cut out and doesn't get it done.
The New York Football Giants have taken the lead over the Cowboys. Jim Fossil with the promise a month ago. It's working. In the first half, the Dallas Cowboys were nearly perfect. No sacks, no penalties, no turnovers. It has come apart at the seams in the second half. 4 sacks. They've committed 6 penalties, 4 of them personal fouls, and they've had 3 turnovers. And now they're down by a point and faced with trying to come from behind. Tucker. Good room up the middle, takes it out to the 29. Guess what? There's a marker down.
No.
Flags are going to be worn out. They're going to have to be replaced for the final week of the season.
Well, the Cowboys are getting used to walking backwards because they're going again.
It's the 7th penalty of the half against Dallas. So what was good field position is gone.
Number 44, during the return, it's a 10-yard penalty, be first down.
Robert Thomas coming up next. Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen will bring you up to date on everything that has gone on in the NFL today, staggering upsets. Mario Lemieux is our Sunday conversation, and Kobe Bryant continues to tear it up for the Lakers.
Man, if you're the Giants defensively, you continue to go after Anthony Wright. You don't give him a chance to breathe now.
They've gotten after Emmitt Smith pretty well, too. His last 13 carries, a net 2 yards. Emmitt on the toss, cuts it back into the middle. Much better effort this time up to the 23-yard line. In case you missed the earlier games today, Kansas City stuck it to Denver. Brett Favre led Green Bay at Minnesota, where he had virtually no success his entire career. The Lions, who everybody wants to count out, knocked off the Jets. Cincinnati with a huge win in a snowstorm against Jacksonville. And Indianapolis played brilliantly to beat Miami. Emmitt, no chance, hitting the backfield again. Williams, who was the safety, has spent much of the second half in the Dallas backfield.
I'll tell you, their linebackers are spending all night in that backfield.
I want to show you what they're doing. I'm going to give you an idea of the guys at the line of scrimmage. What they're doing is they're just filling the gaps and filling the voids. Watch these guys just shoot the gaps. Everybody's coming. Emmitt has nowhere to run. And then you sprinkle it in just out of the left part of your screen. Here comes Sean Williams just a little bit late, and there isn't anyone there to pick him up. Yeah, I just really like the way that John Fox is calling this game against Anthony Wright. I don't necessarily think he'd do it against Troy Aikman.
3rd and 6. Precious. Oh, again, and Wright is drilled by Strahan.
Well, they put Jackie Harris out on Strahan, and 3 times that he's put him out on there, Michael Strahan has beaten him clean. And this is just pure speed. You're asking a tight end to block one of the better defensive ends in the National Football League. McGarity, actually, at 83, was out there. He didn't even get a piece of it. And then you're asking Jackie Harris to come out and pick him up? I don't think so.
Well, 2.5 sacks for Strahan. He now has 9.5 for the year. The Giants as a team have 5, and they are really pounding on Anthony Wright. Now Dallas will have to punt it away. Barber can't get up to it on a short kick. Takes a Dallas bounce past midfield. Still rolling. The Giant defense has taken over this football game, particularly Hamilton and Strahan. The Armsteads and the Strahans from one of the luxury boxes getting to watch, and their sons have done a great job tonight. Strahan's first coach when he was age 7 said, "Your son's going to be a member of the Dallas Cowboys. Save me some tickets." He got the team wrong. He got the league right. And those two guys, Strahan and Armstead, have been the heart and soul of this defense. And Armstead grew up in Dallas, Texas.
You know what I really like? I like what Fossil talked to. Armstead came to him in the summertime, and he said, "Look, Coach," he said, "what do you want these guys to do? Whatever you want them to do, I'll make them do it." And he was right. I mean, look at this team.
Well, they did it the other night. They were going to take everybody to a team movie, and Jim Fossil said, "Who isn't going to go?" A couple people started to raise their hand. Armstead said, "Put your hand down. We're all going." Barber got a nice block and takes it down to the Dallas 44-yard line. Hilliard with a nice block downfield.
I'll tell you, when things are moving, and it's taking this offense a long time to get it moving, and the defense has got it moving, and then you see wide receivers, and wide receivers in this league, we found out, really have to block. And Hilliard, number 88, he gets a nice block. He's on Larimore. Larimore just goes at him.
There he is, going to make the screen out. You don't always have to knock people over. Sometimes you just have to get in their face so they can't find the runner. That's what Michael wants. You know, it's funny. When you see a defensive Giant player cheering on the offense, it hasn't been that way for years until this year here.
Well, you can go most of the decade without seeing it. Barber again, straight up the gut, this time inside the...
Well, Michael, you remember back earlier in the third quarter when you said to Dallas, you know, they could, leading 13-0, they could squander a couple of timeouts. Wrong.
We said at that time.
Yeah, at that time they could. Now they have one left.
That's the problem with blowing them anytime. You never know when you're going to need them. And the clock really becoming a factor, 4:17 and counting.
Well, and, you know, Fossil, a field goal in this situation puts them up 4.
Barber again has a first down inside the 34. I don't think the Giants are thinking field goal right now.
No.
I think they're thinking shove it right down their throat and get out of here.
We talk about the Giants wanting to get in and out of the huddle in a hurry. And, you know, all Emmett can do is stand and watch as Fossil's offense continues to pound out first downs. Now, one of the things Kerry Collins talked about, his job as the quarterback of this team, is to manage the game. Part of managing the game is to snap the ball when you're trying to sit on the clock with about a second or two to go so that you can use up as much of the clock as you can.
Fresh set of downs. Barber hitting the backfield. Alonzo Spellman wrapped him up and wouldn't let him go. With the win in this game, the Giants clinched the NFC East crown. They won it in '97, and they have the advantage. If they win next week, they have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Who would have thought the New York Giants would be able to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs this year?
Well, I'll tell you something. And this Dallas defense has not been the same since Ebenezer Ekubon was ejected after the fight, because he just wreaked havoc on Kerry Collins and was in the secondary a lot.
Barber cut it back inside the 30 to the 29.
Now they'll let it go.
Working on the clock.
Well, now they'll let it go down to the 2-minute warning. Dallas has to be pretty careful when and how they want to use that last timeout.
78 yards on the night for Barber. Most of them have come late.
But I'll tell you what, you talk about a makeshift defense, this Dallas defense. These guys played a heck of a game tonight, Michael.
Yes,
I mean, they really did. They made a couple of mistakes on offense, but defensively, they were solid.
Well, one of the whole keys to their defensive concept is the big tackles inside. Hennings and Lett are gone. They don't have that anymore, so they've really had to scramble. Jim Fossil now only 2 minutes away from taking another step in the guarantee.
Bonjour.
Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen should have been working with the calculators in the last few hours, trying to figure out who's in, who's out. They'll have Sports Center for you when we're done here. Third down. The Giants trying to keep the drive alive. 2 minutes to go. Dallas down. They have only one timeout. Barber. They will use the timeout right now.
Now, Jim Fossil has an interesting decision. Do you try for the field goal?
Kick a field goal.
Be about a 47-yarder.
Kick a field goal.
They missed one and had one block.
Or do you just punt it out deep and put the strength of your football team back out on the field? I think that's the decision.
Punt it out deep. I don't think so. You kick a field goal. Well, we know that Maynard can kick an 8-yard punt.
Oh, let's not be too hard on Brad Maynard. He's been a terrific kicker.
Yeah, he has.
No, he has.
He has. You know. He has. He's had a bad night. They're going to kick a field goal here, and it's going to be
45.
45 yards.
One block, one miss for Daloiso, who came into this game with 12 in a row.
And now there isn't any wind on the field. There's no wind as a factor whatsoever in this stadium.
Even though it's very windy in Dallas.
Look for Dat Win to try and push Noble or the big guys right up the middle again.
He's got to get this up in a hurry.
And the kick is good. The Giants go up by 4. Daloiso, who failed on his first two, got this one through. 17-13 with 1:49 to go. Dallas will have no timeouts at its disposal.
And one of the things with the Giants that Fossil was concerned about right after the Detroit Lion game when they got beaten so badly was the special teams. And tonight the special teams really showed up. I like the interesting thing about him is when he said, hey, I cut the most valuable special team player after that Detroit game.
Bashir Livingston.
Then I called 12 guys in who weren't starters. They were on a special team. And he said, now you understand. If you make a mistake, I'm going to cut you. And if you don't think so, think about who I just cut. And I'll tell you, that left a lasting impression on a lot of people.
Sometimes you have to lay down the law.
Well, you know, I mean, this isn't over yet. The intrigue continues. 1 minute and 49 seconds, even though you don't have any timeouts. If the Giants decide that they don't want to go after Anthony Wright, he can eat up a lot of yards, get out of bounds. You make a throw down the field, you get an interference call. The Giant defense is going to have to continue to go after him, I think.
I was just going to say, if Anthony Wright thinks he's seen pressure before, wait till he sees this series. Jason Tucker, the deep man. Short kick. Tucker from the 11. Takes it outside and out of bounds. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Cisco Systems, empowering the internet generation. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Sutter Home. Sutter Home takes the commitment. And by Best Buy for the latest technology. Turn on the fun at Best Buy. Dallas starts from its 32. The Cowboys need a touchdown.
This Giant defense has just given up 19 yards in this second half. 19.
Four-man rush. Right with a screen. Wiley to the 37.
There are no timeouts left for Dallas.
Taking too much time.
Oh, way too much.
Well, you know, he only ran 2 2-minute drills in his career here in regular games, and that was earlier this week. He only ran them on Wednesday, so, you know, you're talking about a time in the game where a young quarterback has very little experience.
Now it's 3rd and a yard. They have to keep this going. And we're almost down to a minute already. Third and a yard. He tries the quarterback keeper, and I don't know whether he made it or not. He did not.
No, he's going to be a yard short. Now
what you do is you throw the ball down the field just like it's 1st and 10. You try and pick up 8, 9, 10 yards. Don't try and throw a short one.
Burning time off this clock.
It's the inexperience of Anthony Wright at this point of the game that's not allowing him to be more efficient.
And they'll run with Wiley's hit the backfield.
It's over, boys. Wow.
That one I did not understand at all. It would take you 10 seconds to unpile him if you got the first one.
Well, Jim Fossil, in 1990, he managed to win one when they were down by 12 or more. In the year 2000, he starts it out well.
But I'll tell you, this defense for the Giants has been just, I mean, the entire night. They've made a few mistakes on holding penalties and a pass interference penalty. But other than that, this defense has been solid.
The New York Giants, dominated most of the night, have come from behind to beat the Dallas Cowboys, and they win the NFC East. If they win next week,
they got home field all the way through.
Home field through the playoffs. It's an amazing story, and Jim Fossil has to be regarded in New York as a genius.
I tell you, the guys in New York media right now, they absolutely are dealing with a bulletproof individual.
And why not? You make that guarantee, you win 4 straight, win your division, you're on the verge of home field throughout the playoffs. You couldn't ask for anything more. Jim Fossil is on a roll.
Oh, we finally have somebody to win a division.
Absolutely, first one.
He started from the beginning with this football team and set the pace, made them into a team. Michael Strahan made the comment. He said this football team is truly a team. The defense gets up and cheers for the offense. It's just really, really something to watch. Now can they play with the big boys?
A testament for the New York Giants, the way they were dominated tonight and came back. The final score, the Giants 17, the Cowboys 13. SportsCenter's next, all the news, scores, and highlights. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcox, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Irving, Texas. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
ESPN, thank you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.